Good afternoon, everyone. Today you have joined the Committee on Urban Development and Renewal Planning. Today is Monday, April the 28th, right? Yes. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Chairwoman Mary Kay Harris.
Present.
Vice Chair Juan Pichardo is absent. Councilman John Gonzalez is absent. Councilwoman Althea Grace.
Present.
Councilwoman Anna Vargas.
Present.
We have 3 present, 2 absent. We have a quorum.
Please let the record show that we also have Councilwoman Andrews here. And Hal Delgado. We have Miguel Young. We also have our solicitor lawyer, which is Sarah Person, right?
Yes.
And we have our lovely clerks, as you guys know, and we also have Michael from the mayor's office. Michael, how well, I don't pronounce your name that well, so Michael's here. I mean, it's human, but I don't mean to do that. I do it with my own kids and their names. And also we have from our planning department, Elisa.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. There. So, Madam Clerk, could you please read the first item into the record?
Item number 1, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated March 28, 2025, submitting the Community Development Block Grant Budget for program year 2025-2026. The following has been invited. Emily Friedman, Director of Housing and Human Services, Department of Housing and Human Services. Alisa McDermott, Director of Housing and Community Development, Department of Housing and Human Services.
We're gonna turn it over right now to Elisa to talk to us about our community block grant.
Alyssa McDermott, Director of Housing and Community Development. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to join you again tonight as we conclude our review of the proposed HUD entitlement grant budget on behalf of Mayor Smiley and the Department of Housing and Human Services. As a reminder, this budget is the first year of investment under our new 2025 to 2029 consolidated plan. Over the past few months, we have all worked collaboratively to shape a strategic investment of our federal resources, CDBG, home, ESG, and HOPWA funds to meet the evolving needs of our community. This year, we received an overwhelming response. We had nearly 100 proposals totaling over $20.5 million in requests, including $12.3 million in CDBG requests alone. However, given the federal landscape, we are currently operating under a continuing resolution, which means that our funding levels are projected to remain flat compared to last year. And as a result, we built the budget around an estimated allocation and have included a contingency provision in the ordinance to allow for pro rata adjustments once the federal amounts are released next month, mid-May, we're told. Throughout this process, we did prioritize proposals that ensured our critical services remain accessible, like food access, childcare, homelessness prevention, and refugee supports. And we also focused on funding facility and housing proposals that will address operational barriers such as fire safety and flood mitigation. And that will create new units, new affordable units for our lowest income residents in the city. I want to recognize the hard work of our counselors and staff, particularly Kyle Delgado and Robert Baptista, for proactively identifying all of the ward projects that are now included in this ordinance. We are on track to finalize and pass the budget by the May 9th docket deadline, keeping us in line for timely submission to HUD. Today, we plan on substituting the mayor's draft budget with the final ordinance, which has been sent to the chair and vice chair ahead of time for review. In closing, I want to sincerely thank all of you for your thoughtful engagement and partnership and collaboration throughout this process. And your commitment ensures that these federal funds will have the greatest possible impact on Providence residents who will need it the most. I look forward to wrapping up this work with you and moving closer towards our project implementation. I'm open to questions if anyone has any.
Is there any questions from the committee? Okay, with that said, I'm gonna right now also hear from Kyle Delgado, who is also a part of our part of the grant for our neighborhood investment strategy. So please, I would like to hear from you, Kyle.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Just want to echo the sentiments from Melissa, and thank our partners in the HHS and, Mike Napolitano as well. Me and Mike go back and forth on the phone a lot, trying to make a lot of the stuff work behind the scenes, so valuable partnerships, making this work behind the scenes. Specifically in regards to the neighborhood investment strategy grants, we are ready to move forward with the projects as identified with the exception of Ward 9. He just asked that we make an amendment on the floor to his allocation. Right now, we have RI Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, identified with double asterisks. He asked if we can change that to 25,000 for the Rhode Island Indian Council, as well as 25,000 for urban ventures and facility improvements. Besides that, the remainder of the budget is intact and ready to move forward.
At this time, I think we took a motion from.
Well, first, we're gonna take a motion to substitute the
Oh,
communication with
appreciate
the
that.
ordinance.
For that, should it be last or should it be while we're doing, before we make the change?
Correct.
Okay.
We've got a substitute before we
I
make
would
that
take a
change.
motion to substitute the grant, the block development grants budget program from there. I take a motion from Councilman Graves, second by Councilman Vargas, all in favor, aye, so moved. And now we
Now
will
we can
take
take
a
a motion.
motion to, can you repeat that request, please?
Yes, an amendment to the neighborhood investment strategies line item for Ward 9. Identified as Rhode Island Hispanic Chamber of Commerce facility improvements for 50,000. Now to be identified as 25,000 for the Rhode Island Indian Council and 25,000 for urban ventures.
I'll take the motion. Motion made by Councilman Vargas, second by Councilman Graves, all in favor, aye. So the motion passed. So we will make that as an amendment.
Not yet.
At this,
Before we do a motion to approve as amended, would you like to have this committee sponsor this ordinance while it goes to the floor?
that makes a lot of sense. That's what we are doing now, right?
Yes.
So offices, which makes sense in my committees, because sometimes we can get it sponsored. Would you like to sponsor Councilwoman Graves? Yeah, Councilwoman Vargas.
And
you know,
yourself.
myself, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's
Now we
fair.
can approve as
And-
amended.
And we will approve it as amended. I take a motion from the floor.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Vargas, motion, second by Councilwoman Graves, all in favor, aye, the motion passed. All right. Thank you for all the hard work you put in, and as you guys know, this is a newbie, and she has been able to hit the ground running. We appreciate you, we appreciate you. We
Thank you.
appreciate the committee's work too as well. This is really important that the community gets this funding into the community. We appreciate the clerks for their diligence on how they make sure that everything is correct and challenged by us, you know. We appreciate the mayor for his portion of making sure that we're in alliance with this grant as well. So thank you all. Madam Clerk, would you please, Madam Clerk, I would like to take an item out of order. I would like to take item 3. Out of order, please.
Item 3, resolution honoring the life of former Councilman Donald J. Danny Lopez Sr. and establishing an honorary renaming of parts of 10th Street to Donald Danny Lopez Way.
Thank you. Councilwoman, and why did you want to name a street after Mr. Danny Lopes?
Excellent. Thank you so much for inviting me today and for hearing this in your community.
Sure.
A lot of it is here in the resolution, which we had read on the floor the night that it was introduced.
May I have the clerks read it as
Oh,
well?
please, that would be
Please, for
amazing.
today, please.
Whereas Donald J. Danny Lopes Sr., a lifelong resident of Providence, Rhode Island, passed away on April 8, 2019 at the age of 83, leaving behind a strong legacy of service to his community. And whereas Mr. Lopes served as a Providence City Councilman for Ward 3, where he worked hard to improve the lives of the people in his neighborhood and beyond. And whereas, in addition to serving on the City Council, Mr. Lopes was a delegate to the Rhode Island Constitutional Convention, a board member of the Providence Civic Center, and the founding president of SWAP, where he made important contributions to housing and community development. And whereas Mr. Lopes also helped working people as president of the two-man union at the 148 Bar and Lounge, worked as a supervisor for the Rhode Island Public Transit Authority, and was president of the Rhode Island Seniors Association, showing his dedication to workers and seniors. And whereas Mr. Lopes was committed to mentoring young people, coaching teams such as the Woodlawn Cowboys and Easton Wildcats, and making a positive impact on the youth in the community. And whereas Camp Street was not just where Mr. Lopes lived, but a central part of his life and work, making it a fitting place to honor his memory. And whereas the City Council wishes to honor Mr. Lopes' contributions to Providence by renaming parts of Camp Street in his memory. Now therefore be it resolved that the Providence City Council hereby establishes the honorary renaming of Camp Street from Cypress Street to Rochambeau Avenue to Donald Danny Lopes Way to celebrate his life, his service, and his dedication to the people of Ward 3. And be it further resolved that upon passage, a copy of this resolution be transmitted to the Department of Public Works so that they may work to manufacture, install, and maintain one or more honorary signs at the designated prominent and appropriate locations along Camp Street, which shall reflect the Donald Danny Lopes honorary designation, creating a lasting tribute to his legacy. And be it finally resolved that copies of this resolution be shared with the family of Donald J. Danny Lopes Sr. as an expression of the City Council's condolences and appreciation for his life and work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you
Please
so
take the
much,
floor.
for reading that into the record and for having us here today. I'm so honored to be able to offer this resolution up, in honor of Councilman Lopes. And he dedicated so much of his life to the city. It has been so important to Ward 3 and to Camp Street. And his family really had shared it with the city. And, so I just feel like the city really needs to honor him in this way with his family. And I know we're here today, I'm so grateful to be here. And I think at least one of you wanted to come share a little bit about.
More than once, you can
Yeah.
talk about it all day long, that's
Yeah.
okay with us, we love hearing about our history. Councilwoman, you can invite whoever wants to come to the table. Please give your name for the record, please.
My name is Misty Delgado.
Missy Delgado.
Good evening, Chairwoman Harris and members of the committee and guests. My name is Misty Delgado and I am the great niece of Danny Lopes. It is with immense gratitude and a full heart that I stand here before you tonight on behalf of our family. I want to express our deepest thanks to you, Chairwoman, to you, Councilwoman, and a special thanks to Kaya Delgado for not only planting the seed, but watering it and tending to it until we got to this point. The effort that you all have had to put forth to rename Camp Street is not lost on us. Danny Lopes was a husband, a father, a grandfather, a brother and uncle, and so much more. In his own words and actions, he was the best there ever was. The decision to rename portions of Camp Street to Danny Lopes Way is more than just a decision to change a street sign. It's a profound recognition of Papa, not the phone name anymore, he was our Papa. It's a profound recognition of Papa's impact on our community, his spirit, his enduring legacy. Community held a special place in Papa's life. No matter where you were or where your paths crossed when you met him, he was always trying to figure out what are we going to do about it. Be it professionally, in his work with the unions, be it in his work as a council, on the council, or even with family. It was always, a rally of get us together so we can do things better. Camp Street was truly important to Papa. For any of you who had an opportunity to read his obituary, each and every one of his grandchildren has a nickname. And for those OGs of us, me, RJ, and Alicia, we all had our own songs along with our nicknames. His song where my mommy Lishi, she lives on Camp Street, 166, you see, that's my mom Lishi. So the fact that where we lived and who we were, on Camp Street, East Side, you know, it's not old now, but when we grew up, it was the East Side, was always important to him. So to have a part of it forever bear his name is an incredible honor that will be cherished for generations to come. Your support and this thoughtful gesture will mean the world to us. It ensures that Papa's memory will continue to inspire and resonate with everyone within the very neighborhood he loved. Thank you very much for honoring our Papa and the true, I'm saying it's our, I'm trying to, it's Papa. Representing our Papa, in a meaningful way. We're truly grateful.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Please join us, all parts of the family, we want to hear, if not, we want your name before you leave, please.
Do you mind if I stand?
You can stand, but please give us your name.
Sure, my name is Chris Phillips, I'm the son of, former councilman, Dan Phillips. The Honorable Chairwoman, Harris, and fellow councilman, and thank you, Councilwoman, Sue, and the nurse.
Yeah.
And Kyle, of course, thank you, and everybody here. I just wanted to thank you all for the opportunity to honor my father. He, since I was young, he always worked on people. We worked at 520 Boys Club down on South Main Street was the original 520 Boys Club. Now I eat at Hemingway's every once in a while, but that's across the street. But that just kind of shows you the roots of how far back he went. We're like third generation. He's second generation. His mother, I think, was from Virginia, but his father was from Pittsburgh. And they just kind of rooted him around family and social. And again, down in Fox Point, it was a very close knit families. If you ever seen any kind of Puerto Rican,
I have.
there's a movie, it's a documentary about it. Has a lot of our family. It just kind of shows you that close knit family, and that's kind of where he was rooted in. And then we moved from actually across town to just kind of use a little bit of history, go off of Hope Street, then to King Street, Hall Street is where I was, you know, and then to King Street. But he was always rooted in King Street, and he, even before he became council person, and he was, even before he was working on the Constitution amendments, he was always rooted into the community, trying to secure buses for them, taking kids to, you know, different activities. And then somebody gave him the idea to run for office, because they thought that's where he could be more impactful. And he did that. And so sharing his memory, just sharing the different things that all of you are doing today, you know, standing out here, making that commitment to your communities. And he didn't care what ethnicity, what you associated with, he didn't care about that. At the root of my father was the person. And so, regardless of how you vote, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, my family's heart, for even considering him for such an honor. It would just kind of put the, you know, just put the stone on top of the tree. Before my father passed, I had a conversation with him, before he really started to take a dive, because he had cancer of the brain. That's what ended up taking his life. But he was concerned about his neighborhood and the gentrification from a financial perspective. Not who lived in, but who could live in just by social status and economic status. So that you have the monumental tax itself of you and all of you to keep that diversification of thought and of social status within the community and make Providence and make that out. So thank you for that. And again, I have to go.
Thank you so much. Shy.
You're welcome to not.
Please. I don't think he's going to.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Marissa Lopes. I'm the youngest of the Lopes clan. Donald J. Danny Lopes was my dad. I want to thank you, Chairman. And I hate my phone. Chairperson Harrison, Councilwoman, thank you so much. I thank her here sometimes, and Kyle, thank you so much. All of you, thank you so much for giving us this time to talk to you. I'm sure you're tired and ready to go home. But one thing I want to say about my dad was community was very important. And one thing he would instill in us is that we can't just live in a community. We have to be a part of the community. We have to be out there and you do it for your kids in the next generation. And that's how you safeguard your kids. You don't close yourself up in the house, shut the door. You have to get out there and the connections you make are for your kids to keep them safe, keep the community safe. And this right here is something that my father would be happy about and he'd be honored. Another thing that he was really concerned about on his deathbed was he wanted people to know that he never wanted to hurt anyone. Him and my mother just wanted to help. And they did that. So a quick example of that was, I remember one time I was out playing when I was younger. I'll give you one example, my mom and then my dad. And this little kid's running out, she was screaming and crying because it was stung by a bee. So my mom comes flying out the house. I'm like, Mom, that's not me, it's not me. She was like, I know it's not you. She was just running to help. Somebody needed help and she was there. And I remember one time my father was driving me to work. He was supposed to get on the highway 95 South, but he sort of busted right by somebody. And he didn't like injustice. He wanted justice for anybody. And he turned on my dad, where you go? Did you see that bus just drive by that person? I'm like, what's that got to do with me? I gotta get to work. And he pulled over and picked the guy up and took him right down again at Kennedy Plaza. So he's not someone who walked along with blinders on. He tried to help whenever he could. And he loved to help. I was surprised when he passed. So many people had spoke about conversations they had with him, or he gave them a ride and helped them. And it was like, really? He did that? When did he have the time to do that? But he was definitely somebody who liked to help people. And this right here is really an honor for us and our family, because we do, and just like your families, they share you with the public, and sometimes the public doesn't understand that. And they're very demanding of whoever's representing, and they don't care that they have a family too. They want you on 24/7, and that's how it was then when he was in office. So we really appreciate this. Thank you for taking the time. And thank you again for this honor. Thank you.
All right, you sure now? Let's do this pulse check, because whenever I walk out of a room, I should have, would have, could have. So this is it. This is it. Councilwoman.
Yeah, I
Please.
just want to share one thing, or 1.5 more things. One is, assuming you all vote yes, which I hope you do, thank you so much. We'll do a celebration when we put the signs up, and so we'd love to invite, make sure you all are there, and any other members of the family. And the other thing I was thinking of this resolution, last week, many of you may have been there as well, as the investiture for Judge Phillips, who grew up right on Camp Street. In her remarks, she was talking about how important Camp Street, off Camp Street was for her upbringing, and like the community and the family there is like what helped her get to where she is. And I was just thinking, like, your dad must have played such a big role in like making that community what it was, and now it's like, look, she's like a federal judge, and so it just, it spills out, anyway, I was like, crying, anyway. So thank you guys, thank you so much, I'm excited to continue the celebration.
Thank you. Thank you,
That's all I'm
Councilwoman.
Yeah.
At this time, I would like to also introduce, Miguel Young. And the reason for that, there's something new that the council is doing, our city staff is doing, which is archives and backing up our information. So, we have we'll see Miguel at a lot of these, street naming, because he have put the work in as well. So with this, I'm gonna turn it over to you to hear from you and what you were able to blurb.
Sure.
Just the blurb.
Yeah, I mean, it's. The chairwoman always requests that we kind of go through the archive just to see what's in there, and obviously there's a lot about your father, because he made a lot of news as a councilman. So I just put together a little blurb. It doesn't usually veer that much differently from the resolution. I'm happy to share it if you want to hear it. It's
In
like,
the archives. So
yeah, it's a few short sentences. This was all from the archive, so
which is on the 5th floor.
yeah, if you've not been up to
You
the
ever wanna
archives,
go
I
up and
encourage it.
check
It's quite a treasure. So the Providence City Council seeks to honor the legacy of Donald J. Danny Lopes Sr. by establishing an honorary designation on Camp Street from Cypress to Rochambeau as Donald Danny Lopes Way. A lifelong resident of Providence, Mr. Lopes dedicated his life to public service, neighborhood revitalization, and community leadership. In addition to representing Ward 3 in the City Council, he played key roles in shaping local housing policy, labor advocacy, and youth mentorship. His work with SWAP, Stop Wasting Abandoned Property, the Rhode Island Constitutional Convention, and various civic and senior organizations left a lasting impact on the city's neighborhoods and residents. The honorary street renaming recognizes both Mr. Lopes' deep personal connection to Camp Street and his enduring contributions to the community he loved and served throughout his life. So that's what came out of the archives when we asked them, tell us something about Mr. Lopes. So there was.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Any council members before we get ready to vote? Councilwoman Graves.
I have family that grew up on the east side, so I knew Mr. Lopes. And my aunt Bessie doing very well, Bessie Jones, and she always spoke well and highly of him. I seen him he seemed to always be happy to me, you know, so he made all kids feel good about themselves, so. I think this is a wonderful thing, and I think it's a long time coming, it should have been there a long time ago.
Thank you, Councilwoman Vargas.
I want to say thank you for the family because I'm here. And I feel que all you are proud for your father, family related part. I love the same part. So it's good to have the name outside because when the people ask, oh, who's this person? Oh, and have the history. So maybe you guys can follow what he did before. So congratulations.
So in my statement, I'd like to close by saying that, for me, I seen your father, your uncle, cousin, whatever, as a trailblazer. I wouldn't be sitting myself and us in our seat today if it wasn't for him with his courageousness and Councilwoman and, Subarez, which is, I don't know.
I got it.
Who are you? Councilwoman Ambrose, we wouldn't have been in our positions if we wouldn't have had a trailblazer who proved that when you come from the community and you care about the community like you do, Councilwoman, to be able to honor such an honorary person today, to be able to bring this forth. I know you had the support of Cal Delgado, who knew his family more so. And so we just don't name streets, just be named streets. And so this is a really great opportunity. For me, it is an honor to support this tonight. And with that, I will take a vote from the council. Councilwoman Graves have made a motion to pass to full council, second by Councilwoman Vargas. All in favor? Aye. Thank you so much for bringing this to us.
Thank you.
You don't know how much this means to us to be able to hear the great history that comes out of our, that is upstairs, that comes out of our archives, that we don't get a chance to see the families and the connection behind. So this is a great time for us. It doesn't wear us out. It's an honor for this particular thing to happen. So thank you, Councilwoman. So this will go before full council to be voted on, and from there, we will follow Councilwoman and direction and what we do next in the celebration.
Thank you so
And
much.
hopefully you'll let us know.
Yeah,
that
please
it's
come.
there. Exactly, yeah, we
Yeah.
love it. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, could you please read following item?
Item 2, resolution recognizing and honoring the Algonquin House as a center of resilience and community and calling for the honorary renaming of Laura Street to Algonquin Way.
Thank you so very much. Councilman Pachado could not be with us tonight, but he did ask us to pass this out of the committee. I'm very familiar with this area. I'm familiar with Algonquin House. I'm familiar with, I grew up in this neighborhood. I grew up around the same area, so I'm very familiar with the transition. At this time, I'm gonna ask Nico, don't mind, to do the same thing. You were able to work with Caleb in archives and come up with a blur. So
Right.
please share that with us in order for us to have some idea.
Sure. Yeah, I did this research with Caleb in the archives, also with Daryl Waldron, who's the executive director of the Rhode Island Indian Council.
Sure.
That is who is in the Algonquin House. So let me just go ahead and read it.
Sure.
The Providence City Council seeks to honor the Algonquin House by designating Laura Street as Algonquin Way. And just for context, Laura Street, as you're driving south down Broad Street, is the right turn right in front of the Algonquin House. This resolution, developed through research and consultation, has been reviewed and confirmed by the Providence City Archives and Daryl Waldron, Executive Director of the Rhode Island Indian Council. Their insights affirm the historical and cultural significance of the Algonquin House to both Native American and South Providence communities. Founded in 1975, the Rhode Island Indian Council initially operated at 444 Friendship Street before acquiring the Steer House in the late 1980s through community and tribal contributions. Renamed the Algonquin House, this historic site has since served as a vital resource, hosting cultural events, community workshops, and initiatives that address socioeconomic challenges while celebrating Indigenous heritage. This honorary designation reflects the city's commitment to recognizing and preserving the legacy of the Algonquin House and its contributions to the community. One note that is reflected in the resolution is that the word Algonquin roughly translates to people under the big house. And if I can just add personally, I think that's appropriate to anyone who knows the Algonquin House. It's a big house. And if I can add another personal detail.
You can speak while you have the floor. Or take it back.
I feel very privileged to be able to do this. And I see similar, Kyle has this connection. I have a connection with this one in so much as my mother worked for the Rhode Island Indian Council when I was a young child. And my mother's from the Southwest. So, you know, her Indigenous heritage is from the other side of the country, but she was still able to like be a part of that community. And that's what I think big house means, is the whole house. When I was a little kid running into that building, that's what it was. It was this big house. It was almost like magical. It's so big and it's so recognizable every time you drive past it. So I think this is a great honor.
Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that.
Of course.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do I have any more from the committee?
This is
Councilwoman Vargas.
yeah, this is the 87 and 807, the building.
What's
that's a
the
different
address of that?
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
yeah.
It's what you're
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because I have an office over there, that's the reason.
Okay, all right.
I have familiar
Great.
to this building, and also it was the hospital, something for mental, something.
Hospital was, I think, one
One
before,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the big red one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you,
I love that, yeah,
Thank
the way you do it right now, and the facilitators, okay, people can have their office over there, and also We have a small space where you can use as a family,
Right.
the room or the community room to go to any events. It's very, and so, and before, so I donated some chairs, long time. Be a part of community because my family is religious over there too, so because I'm not too far, but I always keep an eye on this.
Beautiful, thank you. Councilwoman Briggs?
Well, I hate to show my age, but I remember when they were on Friendship Street. Way back when, and also I agree with you, it's one of the places that has other small organizations that lets them have a house in there and do certain things, because I remember, for a little while there, I don't know what happened with Black Heritage Society. There was something going on and they had a space in there for a short period of time. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't the African Alliance in there now, or they used to be for a short period of time? So it wasn't just, the Native Americans, they opened their doors, that big house opened the doors for a lot of other small entities. And allowed them to gain, their feet so they can move on to other buildings or other things, so it was a wonderful, it is a wonderful program, a wonderful house, and it is very well.
Thank you. So I will close by saying that, to me, this is another great resolution. This is another great way of us really representing our community and understanding our community. What's beautiful about this is that our history needs to be told, Native American history, Caribbean history, Latino, we just need to tell history in order for us to be able to do what Mr. Danny Lopes have done during his era of time, which is connect the people, inclusion. And that's where we fail at. We fail to be inclusive towards each other. And to me, that's an opportunity for us to see that, even with a name change. The name change on Camp Street, the name change here on Laura Street will definitely give the opportunity for folks to question, why is that street named after Diane House, and why is that? And then dig more into where we are in our culture, our history, and inclusion with each other's struggles. And I really am excited to be able to support this tonight, and I will take a vote from the floor. Councilwoman Grace, a motion made by Councilwoman Grace to pass this motion tonight, and second by Councilwoman Vargas. All in favor?
Aye.
Our motion has passed, and this will go before full council. I want to thank everybody who participated tonight in this in these resolutions, because again, I will leave out of here with just a joyful heart of knowing what we are doing here in Providence, and the things that we are discovering is a joyful part for me too, as I love history and as I learn things along the way. I'm still learning every day, and this is a good opportunity. So with that being said, if there's no more business before this body, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Councilwoman Gray was down there, motion to adjourn, Councilwoman Barbara second, all in favor?
Aye.